Hey guys, so I wanted to film a story time video for you guys. It is a really funny story in which I will always cherish, and I wanted to share this video with you. It is wrestling related, so here we go. So on a sunny July morning in July of 2014, I get a text message around 8 a.m. from my friend, and she's like, hey, do you want to go to the beach? It's supposed to be really, really hot out today. I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, no problem. And she's like, all right, I'll be at your house in a half an hour. I was like, all right, awesome. So this girl's crazy. She wanted to go to a beach that was really far away, like almost an hour. And I was like, bitch, you got the wrong one if you expect me to waste my gas. Like, I'm not trying to do that. So she drove. I mean, I'm extra, but I'm not that level of extra where I'm gonna go an hour to a beach just to chill. Like, no, girl. So she drove. It was fun. It was a really good day. 5 hours into it, it's like, bitch, I'm burning up because, girl, I felt like my skin was made of lava. It was crazy. So I'm pale as fuck, and I've embraced it. But yeah, so we get food, and after that it's like, shit, girl, like TMI, but I need tampons. So yeah, this is really embarrassing. So I was looking for a drugstore, and we were super unfamiliar with this area that we were in because it was an hour away from where we live. So I was like, fuck. So I'm Googling shit, and it's like, all right, we saw a Target when we were driving. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. This will suffice. This is good enough. So here I am in shorts and a cover-up, and I'm like, bitch, I have a huge beach bag. I really don't want to be that extra and bring a huge beach bag into Target just when I'm trying to get a little thing of tampon. And she's like, yeah, that's true. So she's like, I'll just stay in the car if you're gonna be only 5 to 10 minutes. So she ends up FaceTiming with her boyfriend, and I just leave all my belongings in the beach bag, like my phone, my keys. I just brought in my wallet, obviously, because I had to pay for my stuff. But other than that, I just ran in the store, and I was so unfamiliar with where things were placed because it wasn't like the normal Target that I usually go to. It was a bigger one. So I walk in and I see like 12 registers, and I'm like taken back. I was like, whoa, okay, that's not what I'm really used to. So I'm trying to look for the personal care section for the tampons. So I notice it's all the way to the back of the store. So I'm like walking really quick to get there, get in and get out. Let's be real. So I finally end up getting to the tampon aisle, and I find my tampons, and I'm thinking, oh, I notice a big bakery section, and I'm like, I was kind of craving a chocolate cake because, like I said, it was the time of the month. So when you walk into Target, it's kind of like the air you breathe in, they automatically make you spend more money. It's really hard to just buy one thing and leave. So I'm like, while I'm here, maybe I should just pick up a big chocolate cake for myself so I could devour it later on when I'm eating away my feelings. So I was like, okay, I'll just buy some. So to get to the bakery section, you have to pass the produce section. Now they have a newly renovated produce section in this specific Target. It was huge. It was very open. There was a lot of people shopping, mainly senior citizens. But I see this man, and he stands out to me because he's unlike any other people around. He's huge, you know, 6'3", 290, 300 pounds. He was a big guy. And I'm thinking, I'm like, this is not Mick Foley, is it? And I'm talking to myself, I'm like, bitch, this is Mick Foley. So what I do, me being creepy as fuck, I walk around the produce aisle like 3 different times because at this point, I had like really bad anxiety, social anxiety. So I have since beaten it, which, pat on the back for me, but I was like, oh my God, like I'm too much of a pussy to go up and like say hi to him. But then I'm like, bitch, you're never gonna get this moment again. This is like a once in a lifetime thing. And this is the town where Foley lives. I'm not gonna say where because I know you people are crazy. But I'm like, fuck, just do it. You know, muster up the courage and do it, bitch. So I end up finally getting the courage, and I run up to him, and he had just gotten off the phone. And I'm like, "Hi, Mick Foley, it is a pleasure to meet you." I introduced myself. I told him that I've been a longtime fan of his, and this is all within me having my tampons and a chocolate cake in my fucking hand. So I told him that his match with The Undertaker at King of the Ring was the first match that I've ever gotten into, and my dad got me into wrestling, and he basically called my dad amazing because he thinks more people should watch wrestling. And the funny thing about this whole situation is that he really wasn't getting recognized, but I think that was because a lot of elderly people were shopping in this specific store at that time. Because a lot of people ask me, like, did anyone else recognize him? It was only 2 other people in that moment that recognized him. Most people did not recognize him. I know us fans, we live for wrestling. It's our life, but we're in our own little bubble. A lot of people don't watch pro wrestling at all. Like, a lot of people only know John Cena and The Rock, you know, and maybe Hulk Hogan. You know, other than that, most people can't pick out people who used to wrestle, you know what I mean? So I think that's why he wasn't getting recognized. And this was at a point where he was out of WWE for almost like 8 years at this point. It was 2014, so he really didn't have any affiliation with them. He was doing a lot of charity work and comedy work at this time. So he was just like living low. Now, what I really wanted to commend him on was the fact that he's a millionaire, multi-millionaire. Like, you would never know that. Like, he's humble as fuck, and he gave me really good advice because I told him that I eventually wanted to get into the wrestling business, and he told me to start, you know, local and to work my way up because you get more respect that way. And I'll never forget that. I think that piece of information will always stick with me, and he was just a really nice guy. So unfortunately, I kick myself to this day. I didn't have my phone with me, so I pay for my stuff, and clearly he leaves the section that he's in because no one's going to be in that section for too long, right? So I get to the car, and my friend's talking to her boyfriend, and I'm like, "Bitch, a celebrity's in there." And she's like, "Who? Is it the Kardashians?" I was like, "No, bitch, it's my kind of celebrity, a wrestler." And she's like, "Oh, who? John Cena?" I was like, "No, Mick Foley." She's like, "Who?" I'm like, "Bitch." She's like, "Okay, go in there and get a picture with him." I was like, "Girl, he's probably gone by now, and I don't want to do the most by going in again and bothering this man." And she's like, "No, that's true." I absolutely love Mick Foley's sense of humor. When I had the fucking chocolate cake and the tampons in my fucking hands, he was like, the struggle. He's so awesome. He really appreciated the fact that I'm a diehard fan and that I believe pro wrestling, and he was basically saying that I should really get into it. So that was my 1-minute encounter meeting Mick Foley at a Target in the summertime of 2014. Clearly this was long before he signed on as the GM role in 2016. This was 2 years before that. So it was really a fucking crazy moment. Like, I still get chills to this day because I grew up watching him and really loving Foley. So I will say though, he really didn't do great as a GM, to be honest with you, because he had to rehearse all these lines that Vince was throwing at him, and he came up in an era where a lot of it was improvised, and that's why he did so good on his own, because he's good with improvisation. Rehearsing it really hurt him, but as a person, I think he's amazing, and I'm really grateful for that moment, and I'll never forget that moment. It's a moment in which I will tell my future kids because it was great. Actually, I probably won't tell them. I'll probably tell them to watch this video so that I can get more AdSense money. Thank you guys so much for watching. There's more videos coming soon.